What's up, you guys? It's Mark here. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. Today, what we're going to be talking about is navigation. But all seriousness, I really just want to talk to you about how to navigate Excel efficiently and most importantly, without a mouse, because if you're using your mouse, it's going to be slower than if you're using your keyboard. Your arrow keys, Shift and Control, as we'll talk about, are huge tools in your toolbox to be able to navigate Excel efficiently and get things done faster so you can get time back in your day. Imagine all the things you can do if you become an Excel navigation wizard without a mouse. You'd have so much time to do the things you want to do. So let's all become wizards today. Let's jump in. Here we have a blank Excel workbook, and that's all we need for now. So the first way to navigate Excel without a mouse is simply by using your arrow keys. So I'm going to go to the right, I'm going to go down, down, down. I can go back up and to the left, all just by using the 4 arrow keys on your keyboard. Another way to navigate up, down, left, and right is by using Tab and Enter. So if you hit Enter, you can go down. If you hit Tab, you go to the right. And if you hold Shift and hit Tab, you go back to the left. And then if you hold Shift and hit Enter, you actually go up. So another way to navigate the 4 directions in Excel is by using Tab and Enter and then holding Shift when you want to go the opposite way. Another way to navigate Excel is page up and page down. So if we page down right now, we're just going to drop, I don't know, about 20 rows, 30 rows, depending on your zoom level. And you can hit that as many times as you want. And if you're dealing with a very large workbook, it might be helpful to be able to skip several rows at a time, as opposed to just using the down arrow key, which goes every single cell. And page up also skips a bunch of cells and goes upward. The 2 buttons you really need to know when navigating Excel are going to be Control and Shift. I'm going to start up in the upper left corner here. I'm going to use my arrow keys to get there. If I hold Control and go to the right, it's going to take me all the way to the right side of the spreadsheet, all the way to column XFD. And if I go back to the left as I still hold Control, it's going to take me all the way back until Excel reaches a stopping point at A1. Similarly, I can go down in really any direction if I hold Control and hit these arrows. You can play around with it yourself, but you can go up, down, over, and up any direction you want, and it snaps to the stopping point. Why do I say stopping point? So if you're dealing with some data, let's put some data in here, maybe a couple of columns worth. And if I'm in this data set and I hold Control and I go to the right now, it's not going to take me all the way to column XFD. It's just going to take me to the next logical stopping point, which is going to be C2, because that's where my data ends. Also, if I hold Control and go down from this point, it's going to stop in cell C6, because that's the logical stopping point that Excel sees. It's not going to go all the way down to the last row in the spreadsheet. Now, if I hold Control and hit down again, it will take me down there because that now becomes the next logical stopping point. Another cool trick with Control is if you find yourself kind of lost in the spreadsheet on the very last row, if you hold Control and hit the Home key, you may have to search for it on your keyboard if you don't know exactly where it is. But hold down Control and hit Home, that'll take you all the way back to cell A1. The other key that's important to know when navigating Excel is going to be Shift. So if we hold down the Shift key and again just use our arrow keys, if we go to the right, it's going to go by 1 increment, but it's also going to highlight everything that we're covering right now. We can also go down from here and it's going to continue to highlight. And that's going to be important when you want to select a data set and copy and paste it or do another manipulation with it. It's important to know how to highlight data. Next is going to be a combination of Control and Shift. So we know Control takes us to the next logical stopping point. Shift highlights everything. So let's say we wanted to highlight all of column A. We can hold Control and hold Shift and hit the down arrow. The Control will send it all the way down to the last row in the spreadsheet, and the Shift, as we hold that as well, is going to highlight everything. That's really important if you want to select the whole column. Another little shortcut way to select an entire column is just to hold Control and hit spacebar. That's a little bonus shortcut for you. So any column you're in, if you want to select all of column C, you can hold Control, hit spacebar, and it's going to select that. And similarly, you can use Shift spacebar. That's going to select the entire row. So just a little bonus shortcut tip for you guys if you ever need to highlight an entire row or an entire column. So say for example, we wanted to highlight every single one on this spreadsheet. We can do it in just a few keystrokes. And again, we'll just use the combination of Ctrl Shift. We hold that down. So let's go to the right, and it's going to stop at the logical stopping point of C2. And then we're going to hit the down arrow key, and it's going to stop at row 6. And as you can see, since we're holding Shift through all of this, we highlighted every single one in the table. The next important navigation tip in Excel is how to navigate between tabs without clicking. So for that, again, we're going to use our Control key and our page up and page down. So from sheet 1 to sheet 2, if I want to get there, I can hold Control and hit page down. It's going to tab 1 over to the right. If I want to go back the other way, I continue to hold Shift and I page up, page up. Just by using these, you can navigate between tabs relatively quickly. Another way of navigating Excel is simply how to navigate into a cell and out of a cell. For example, if I go to B2 and there's this 1 in there, if I want to go into that cell and maybe make it a 2, I can hit F2. Now make sure function lock is on your keyboard. But if you hit F2, you can go into the cell and you can see the cursor shows up in that 1. And now I can just backspace and hit 2 and change it right to a 2. And when I want to come out, I can simply just hit Enter. Say in cell B3, I want to put a 3. So I can hit F2, go into the cell, backspace, type a 3. Now say I change my mind, I want it back to a 1, but if I hit Enter, that's going to become a 3. So another way to navigate back out of a cell and not save any changes is to hit the Escape button. I use that so much when I'm in a cell and I don't want to save the changes. Maybe I make a mistake, or I just want to go back to the original formula or value or whatever was there. Simply hit Escape, and now it's back to a 1. Finally, the last way of navigating Excel that I want to show you guys is how to navigate the menu bar without a mouse. Most folks, when they want to do something in Excel, they'll go to the menu bar, say they want to insert something, they'll click on Insert, try to find the right graphic that corresponds to what they want to do. That is one way to do it, but I feel like it's a little bit exploratory. So if there is a command that you do over and over and over again, or a button that you hit up here over and over and over again, I would just recommend using Alt and trying to learn the shortcut that corresponds with that command. So for example, let's say I often make tables blue, right? I make the cell background blue. So what we can do is, again, use Control Shift, go down and hold Control Shift again and go to the right. Say I want to make the background blue. As opposed to coming up here, clicking on this, going to blue, that's one way to do it. I'm going to Control Z, which is undo. Instead of using our mouse and doing that, what we can do is use the Alt key. So when you hit Alt, as you can see, some yellow letters and a few numbers came up on the menu bar. Now, we can essentially follow the progression of what we would do if we were to hit that paint button with our mouse. So we know it's in the Home menu. So you see that H right here by Home. So since we hit Alt, that kind of activated the shortcut command. So now if we hit the letter H, it's going to go right into that Home menu. So we're going to hit H, and now it brings up even more options which correspond to the buttons within the Home menu. And now we see right by the paint, you can see there's the letter H again. So we can go ahead and hit the letter H again, and you got it. That's what it's going to do. It's going to take us right into the paint menu. And now you can see in the upper left corner that white color is the one that's highlighted. If we want blue, you're thinking, oh, let's just use our mouse and click on it. You can, however, you can also use the arrow keys and go to the right, 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 and then hit Enter when you have the color that you want. And that's going to make that table blue without using your mouse. So that's my preferred way of navigating the menu bar, especially for commands that you're doing over and over and over again. If you commit those commands to memory, it's going to save you so much time. Like that one was Alt-H-H, and then we select our color. Just remember that one for changing the background color, Alt-H-H. You just start building your toolbox of these shortcuts. Like that can be one that you commit to memorizing, and then next week maybe there's another one that you want to memorize. And as you commit more and more to memory, you'll become much quicker, much faster, much more accurate in Excel. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what you think of the video. Give it a thumbs up if you learned something. And there's a link in the description to a Google Doc that'll have an Excel shortcut cheat sheet that you can download for free, print out, keep one in your home office, keep one in your work office, give one to a friend. It's going to have all the shortcuts that I find particularly useful and that have saved me hours and hours of time. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.